Welcome to the Three-Man Weave Show, hosted by SportsbookReview.com. We are the Weave. It's Groundhog Day. Get ready for Puxatawny Phil to come out and see his shadow or whatever he does. That's exciting, guys. February 1st went pretty well for the Weave. We had a good day yesterday on our show picks. Let's keep that going throughout the month. That'd be really nice. Before we start our video today, please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's SBR Sports Picks. And go to sbrpicks.com/NCAAB for more college basketball content, including our videos and write-ups from the SBR staff on college basketball. There's other sports there too, but we know what sport is king in this area. Jim, Matt, how's it going, fellas? Let's start with Jim for a takeaway yesterday and then get into the slate.
Okay, we got Drake back on track. They won by 35. Good to see all is right with the world. Loyola also won by 20. Guys, do you know what those two teams' combined ATS records this year? Well, no. Guess what? I have it for you. It is 26-4-1. 26-4-1 against the spread, those two. That's very good. Insane. Absolutely bananas.
Yeah, Jim, I bet on Missouri State last night at just a fool's errand. You can see these teams that Loyola plays, they just go into just this depressed, helpless mode in the second half. It's like, we can't score on this defense. It's impossible. Ky, I was just looking up Puxatawny Phil's odds to see his shadow. Apparently some Europe books have this at even money that spring will come early, although no official U.S. books are offering it. So I don't think we have any takes teed up for that one today. But chat mob members, if you've been handicapping the shadow likelihood, please do share for all of us. Thank you.
Conspiracy theory. He's not going to see or whichever one means spring is coming. Just
I don't know what the right one is.
People need the boost. You know, they want to give right. 2021 good vibes, so they're going to rig it so that spring is coming.
Okay, so value on the dog there. Yeah.
Value on the dog, value on the groundhog, value on the hog. My takeaway, guys, Oklahoma, Texas Tech. Man, who said defensive battles can't be fun? I genuinely enjoyed watching this game yesterday, despite the low scoring affair. It was definitely an offensive struggle, but the defense was unreal on both sides. Both these teams can defend. Both teams are awesome. OU, even without Reeves, hung in there the entire game, covered the spread. That was nice as well. So defense, not that bad, guys. Embrace it. Let's move on to the rundown, talk about an awesome slate today on Tuesday. Baylor at Texas, game of the day, leading us off. Baylor looks to stay undefeated in their toughest matchup to date at Texas. However, the Longhorns fell to OU in their last one. They were missing Shaka Smart, their coach, Courtney Ramey, and Jericho Sims. Jim, we're not sure if these guys are back today. If they're not back, is it a Baylor lean for you?
I think Shaka has been cleared, and the other guys are probable. Also, don't disrespect Brock Cunningham, man. He's supposed to be back too after his little absence. Sure. I actually lean Baylor either way. I just think it's purely gut. It's not really matchup. It's not really number. I just think when Baylor and Gonzaga are faced with somewhat even competition, that they're going to rise to that level that no other team really has. So even if this one's close for a while, I see Baylor kind of extending in the second half, the way they did at home versus Kansas, got up by double digits for a lot of that half. I just don't really want to bet against Baylor and Gonzaga in relatively even-ish games this year. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, and I think these the road favorites that fall within the 4-point to 12-point range, just the home court really hasn't lived up to that billing where a traditional home dog would be a live bet here. You think Texas catching 5 with all their length and athleticism and the talent they have, but just there's not that same home momentum that you typically get. And I think Jim said it correctly, right? You get these teams motivated, you get them hungry, Baylor, Gonzaga. It's just not a side I want to go against. I'm trying to find reasons why Baylor could be overvalued. You can certainly point to their 43% three-point percentage. They get high quality shots and they have shooters. So it's hard to say there's a massive regression coming, Ky.
I don't think there's a regression coming at all. No, I do think that Baylor won't be able to bully Texas like they have against certain teams. There's certainly athletic evening out here in this game. Also on the surface, do you think Texas versus Baylor's sort of no middle defense, that Texas is in trouble here? But they're the number one team in 3-point attempt rate and 3-point percentage in the Big 12. This team can actually shoot. And I think they allow fans in the stands down in Texas, so maybe a slight home edge for the Longhorns there. Yep. Versus other teams in the country that can't have any fans. I do sort of lean towards Texas if everyone's able to play, but I'm with Jim and you, Matt. I don't really want to go in front of the Baylor train right now. Moving on. Illinois at Indiana. We remind you, Matt is a Hoosier alum. Today, his Hoosiers are hosting Illinois. They're up to 7 in KenPom, 7-3 in the Big Ten, sort of getting into 1 or 2 seed territory now. A recent statement win over Iowa. Matt, your Hoosiers just lost to Rutgers 8 days ago. But my real question is, will the real Assembly Hall please stand up? Who is the king of Assembly Hall, guys?
Well, I hope tonight it's the team that resides there permanently. I like the Hoosiers tonight, Ky. This is one of my official show plays. I see the value has been bet down, I believe, from Illinois -3 to Illinois -2. As I'm refreshing my SBR odds page, that's what I have as the updated number here.
I think you can get 2.5, Matthew.
All right, I will take 2.5 then, Jim. 2 is where I drew my line. Just been really impressed with the way IU's played the last 2 games. I mean, I know they lost to Rutgers. They had some questionable stretches through that game, but that's more of a function of Rutgers really on a surge right now, elevated by Geo Baker. I'm looking more at what Indiana did to Iowa and the surgence of some of these young guns. Armand Franklin's health is a question in this game, Jim. He played really effectively despite playing on effectively 1.5 legs against Rutgers, but you're seeing him still get things done on the offensive and defensive end. I think Rob Finney's starting to gain some confidence, or Al Durham starting to not remove the Jekyll and Hyde nature from his game. Just a lot of things to like about my Hoosiers right now.
I'm not going to go that far. There's not a ton to like. They're solid. They're a fine Big Ten team. I just think they're better as an underdog. That's why I lean that way today. They're 4-1 against the spread as a dog this year, compared to just 6-5 as a favorite. And yeah, I mean, you mentioned the first game that they played. They kind of had Illinois on the ropes on the road. Obviously, a much smaller spread here, and they pretty much have to win outright to cover. So I'm not going to take it officially with you on the show, but I do lean towards the Hoosiers. I think the spot sets up well for them with Illinois off that big Iowa performance. Again, that was, we saw what happened to Indiana after their big Iowa win. So I could see Indiana taking a similar stumble, or Illinois taking a similar stumble in this one. Ky, do you have anything here?
We're going to have some disagreements on the show today, guys, which isn't very common. I lean Illinois. IU's defense has been poor in league play. Illinois' offense has been pretty unstoppable. Transition especially. Indiana's 308th nationally in effective field goal percentage allowed in transition. That's bad against Illinois. Also, the Franklin hobbling, the Trey Galloway news, him being out likely with an injury, that scares me away from a Hoosier bet here. I think Illinois kind of shuts them down. So I'm kind of leaning the other way, Matt. But for the show purposes, I really hope Indiana covers. Good luck.
Thank you.
Moving on. USC at Stanford. Trojans -2, -2.5 right now. They are a muscular 7-2 in the Pac-12, though they've had kind of a light schedule. They haven't played a KenPom top 100 game since January 9th. This is also Stanford's first true home game. Jim, still probably missing a lot of pieces. Who do you like in this one?
I'm chuckling a little bit at the Upstate logo in our graphic here. Unfortunately, that's not the correct Trojans logo. But that's okay. We've got the USC Trojans name there.
That's good.
USC, yeah. I'm excited about Maple's magic here. Stanford's been on the road all season. Basically, ever since they went to Asheville for the Maui tournament, they had to stay on the East Coast, play a couple games there. Now they were in Santa Cruz for a while. I think it's going to be nice for them to get back home, play a real home game. I like Stanford +2.5. I'm going to take it on the show, actually. I just decided that right now. I'm going to do it.
Wow.
This is a big-time battle of the trees inside. A lot of – it could be an ugly one, kind of akin to Oklahoma and Texas Tech last night, where both teams want to score in the paint. Neither team really can because the other team has a lot of length. But I think USC takes a lot of bad shots against the Stanford defense. And I just like the spot a little bit with them getting back home and finally getting that travel burden off their shoulders. Matt, you going to join me?
Jim, I will. I'm sort of inspired by your whimsical nature here. Yes, I will ride with you here. I like what I see from the reinforcements, the replacements that have stepped in here for the tree. Michael O'Connell, a guy that was a late signing for Stanford, a former LAC star. Kind of think back to Pat Spencer at Northwestern last year. He made a big impact. He's actually solidified the point guard spot without Dejon Davis in the mix. I think Zaire Williams, 5-star freshman, mega talent. He's been lost all season offensively. I think removing him is actually a little bit addition by subtraction on that side of the ball. Then Jaden Dallaire has emerged to stardom status, up front there alongside Oscar da Silva. There is definitely this rally around the absence of these star players with this kind of next in line crew. I am all in on this Stanford mini surge, despite their, tough loss at Arizona State, but I think you have to give them a pass for that one. Arizona State needed that game like blood. So I will be on the tree as well, Jim. I will ride with you.
Let's do it.
This is another one of our disagreements, guys. I think Stanford's in real trouble here. USC is going to mob De Silva with size. Stanford is not going to score inside the paint, and that's bad for a team that's 11th in the Pac-12 in three-point percentage and three-point attempt rate. I don't see an easy path for them to score. Now, I don't know if USC is going to score very easily either, so it might be kind of a wash there, but the Trojans are the toughest team to score against in the paint in the league, so I worry about the tree. I lean sort of the other way, but again, for the show, I hope you guys are correct and win your bet. Go Stanford.
If I wasn't already on Stanford, I would like the under as well, but I don't want to have both side and total in this game, so I'm not going to stay. I'm going to stay away. But yeah, as Ky mentioned, both teams should struggle to score in the paint here.
All right, we're moving on to Purdue at Maryland. Guys, maybe a little surprising here. Maryland up to a -3 fave. Purdue's been on fire lately. They're finally cracked into the AP top 25. They've won 5 of their last 6. They currently sit 7-4 in the Big Ten. Maryland 0-4 at home in Big Ten play. They've been better than expected, though, Jim. Do you think Maryland gets it done at home or the Boilers get another win on the road?
I'm a little worried about Purdue without Stefanovic. Excuse me. He was kind of invisible in the first meeting. He only took 1 shot from the field, but he played 30 minutes. He takes a lot of defensive attention because he's running around screens constantly, forces opponents to track him and potentially help off some of those down screen, those stagger screens. They were fine against Minnesota, but it was road Minnesota. So I'm a little concerned. Maryland also, just barely lost the game at Purdue on Christmas. Remember how bad we did on Christmas, guys? Whew, that was fun.
like worst day of the year, honestly. Yeah. Horrid.
So maybe there's a little bit of revenge angle there for Maryland. I lean towards Purdue on the number with where it's gotten to, which is kind of wild, but Spot has me kind of hesitant, and I'm not quite going to take it. Matt, what do you got?
Well, Jim, I hope to inspire you as you did me on the tree here. I will take the Boilers at the current price. Going to counterpunch against the market steam that seems to like this Maryland team a lot. I don't really understand that. Have they not witnessed what Purdue's done recently? These freshmen who have been phenomenal. Brandon Newman has emerged. I think he had 29 points last game against Minnesota. I agree with Jim. Stefanovic is a big loss, right? He's kind of that key guy that runs off screens and can really make shots. Has that gravitational pull, but Newman can shoot it as well. I think he's actually an upgrade on the defensive end, more athletic, more versatile, and that's what you need to defend the interchangeable wing hybrid guard forwards that Maryland throws at you. That's kind of their MO, right? They can drive from all 5 positions, step away, and shoot it. So I think that actually plays well in this matchup. And Jim mentioned the revenge spot situational edge here for the Boilers. Ky, that they're trending up. I will ride them tonight.
I don't think there's not a revenge spot. Purdue won the first game by 3. They were up by 15 in the first half too. They're kind of dominating the Terps there, but 2 points for Maryland's favor actually. They have to shoot to score, and Purdue allows the second highest 3-point attempt rate in the conference. So Maryland can certainly get hot from deep. We obviously don't know what college kids will do from day to day. So that's always a guesswork right there. And the Terps are also pretty good on the defensive glass, despite their sort of lack of size. Purdue grabbed about 28% of its misses in the first game. It's actually below their conference average. So that's not a terrible number when you're facing a Purdue team that's just has giants and trees and Ents, Jim, on their roster. So I think the Boilers
trees?
Though are on another.
We are no trees.
They're Ents. Boilers are ascending, I think, to another level though right now. I agree that spread feels too high. I lean towards Purdue +3 as well.
Ky, we need a word for not revenge, but like a take team serious spot based on prior matchup if they won. So I'll try and workshop that. But that's what I'm banking on here for Purdue.
I respect that. All right, we're going to go to chat mob questions. But first, Jim, you have a little video for us?
I don't have a video. Our friends at SBR have a little promo for their poker tournament ongoing, and I think our producer will drop that in now.
Ready to show off your poker skills and make some money? SBR is rewarding its followers with a chance to compete for a $500 prize pool for free. Join us in our amazing social media community this February 6th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time in our Super Bowl poker tournament. Registration is free and is now open. All you have to do is register on the SBR forum, download the SBR Poker client, and DM us your name on Twitter to get the passcode for the tournament. You can find the links for the registration and client download on the description of this video. So, what are you waiting for? Get your best game ready, try your luck, and let's have some fun on Super Bowl weekend with SBR's free poker tournament. I'll see you there.
There it is. Check out that tournament, that poker tournament promo. Also, there is a little trivia contest going on with the Super Bowl Check out at SBR Sports Picks on Twitter. They are doing a trivia question every day, and a lucky winner, will get $150 every day leading up to the Super Bowl. $150 straight to you. They're giving that out every single day, so check that out, folks. Twitter at SBR Sports Picks. All right, let's get into the chat questions here. First one that came in, I saw Ricky D asking about UMBC at NJIT off of the extra board. Big time acronym game here for 4-letter acronyms on both sides. NJIT kind of stole the first one after UMBC was up most of the game. I kind of think that the Retrievers get it done on the road this time around, but I don't really have an edge number wise, so I'm not going to play it. Either of you guys have anything on that?
Same with you, Jim.
Slight lean to Retrievers. I think there's a 1.5 of value here if you want to dig into ratings, but nothing. No official play for me.
Perfect. Luke Beasley asking about Wake Forest at Notre Dame. Well, ACC battle. Matt, I think you were having an internal debate on this one.
Yeah, I made this number 5, Jim. I started at it for a good half hour last night, and I wanted to pull the trigger on the Irish. I couldn't. I just respect Steve Forbes too much, but it just feels like this is a game where they've been playing well, had an awful good effort against Pittsburgh. Certainly lean the Irish here.
Yeah, I kind of lean Wake Forest. I just think they've been a feisty dog, but
they've been hot too, man.
Yeah, they have. And they should be getting Ian Dubose back as a nice little bonus for them. All right, what else we got? Another extra board game. Dominic asking about Morgan State at Coppin State. And I kind of lead Coppin, kind of similar to the UMBC NJIT game, where Coppin controlled a lot of that game before Kevin Broadus got ejected, and it swung momentum a little bit towards Morgan. Yeah. I think Coppin State gets this one done, and they split these two matchups.
I do too. Coppin State is a lean for me, +3, I think it is right now, +3.5 even, possibly.
I should make this a consensus. I'm sorry, I'm a fraud, Jim. I said I would. I made the number where it is, and I am a slave to my number overlord, so I cannot go against it. I guess I gave Morgan State a massive upgrade when I watched them earlier this year. I'd forgotten about that, so no play for me. I wish the best for those of you who take this.
Yeah, it's 3 minus 115 in some places. I'm not gonna take it, unfortunately. A lot of questions about the MAC. We got a lot of real good games there.
Yeah, we do.
Matt, I'll start with you. Akron at Toledo, a game that caused some rifts between the weave last night.
Yeah, I got bloody last night.
Long debate in our internal channels about Toledo. Matt, tell the people where you're at here.
I guess I like that some of the market agrees with me. I'm on Akron here, very small. I made this number closer to 5.5, where it's dropped down to now. I think Akron's really solid. They had a couple of tough starts to the season, a lot of pieces to integrate around LCJ. I don't disrespect Toledo. I just think this line is awfully high. I don't disrespect Toledo. I do not. So as much as I've been in and out of the Toledo Faders Anonymous program, tonight I am relapsing and going back against the Rockets.
I lean Toledo at 5.5, man. I agree Akron's not bad at all. I just think Toledo's legit.
Yeah, I'm with Ky there. I kind of lean Toledo at the current number, and that is banished forever from Toledo Faders Anonymous. We can't have guys that just intentionally relapse coming into our group.
I'll have to find another support group. But it was good while it lasted, Jim. Thank you. I needed that during that tough stretch.
Yep. Elsewhere, let's look at Ohio at Central Michigan. I liked Ohio early on in the number here, but that's been bet up to I think 8.5. So yeah, even above 8. That's too far for me to recommend. Ky, do you have anything on that game?
It's too high, but I agree. I was leaning Ohio as well at a lower number.
Yeah, the emergence of Mark Sears as a second point guard has been huge for them. Really upgraded their offense.
Kind of like the over. I think both teams can get to the rim, score inside pretty easily. Not elite perimeter defenses here by any means.
Yep. All right, 2 more MAC games here. Miami, Ohio at Kent State. Matt, I'll go to you there. I know you've kind of gotten into the Red Hawks. They've been feisty lately. You think they can hang on the road?
Yeah, I took Central Michigan against Kent State over the weekend, so I'm going to fade them again here today. I want to reiterate, I respect Kent State. I think them and Toledo are awesome. But these kind of middle of the pack MAC teams are also, I think, undervalued. Miami's starting to put it together. Finally healthy this season. Pretty strong collection of athletic guards, wings that can make stuff happen. So I like the Red Hawks at the current value, 9, 8.5, if I'm seeing right.
Yep. I should note that question came from your mother's lover. So, keep that.
So my father. Oh, I'm glad my dad's watching.
I don't think that's the intention there, Matt.
Let's just keep it G for the purposes of our bosses.
All right, another question from J-Man Johnson. Buffalo at Ball State, the other MAC game on the slate. Ky, anything for you here?
I wouldn't touch Ball State with the injury issues. I don't know what the status is now, but you saw how badly they got beat over the weekend. This Buffalo team, I think, is still very, very, very good. So I would not bet Ball State.
You got to know about KJ Walton, Jim. Did not play last game, nor did Marinette Thomas.
Like 5 guys were out.
Yeah, those are the 2 you have to know about for sure. You cannot touch Ball State unless you know those guys are in there.
Yeah, keep an eye out for them. We're not even sure if Reggie Jones is ever going to return. He hasn't played yet this year. So, all right, let's hit 2 more quick, and then I'll move the rest to the end. Shane LaRue wants to know about an SEC battle, Tennessee at Ole Miss. Ky, I think I'm coming around to your Ole Miss stinks take here. Tennessee got a nice game against Kansas. They played very well over the weekend. Do you think they do it again in this one, Mr. McKeon?
I didn't take them, but I leaned their way. I don't see how Ole Miss scores, plain and simple. So I don't know why you'd feel good about backing Ole Miss today with the way they've been playing lately.
Yeah, I would imagine they turn it over a lot here. They're sloppy.
Yeah.
The variance monster is going to back Ole Miss here. 26% 3-point shooting percentage in conference, 64% from the line. Opponents hitting 37% from long range. So believe in the Kermit, folks. It's going to be fine. It's all going to be fine.
They're just not good shooters, though.
Yeah, they don't get good shots.
They're better shots. They're better shooters than that, though.
They don't get good shots. That team leaves me feeling cold and clammy.
Free throw making seems a little less variant. Like 64% for the entire year. Maybe you're just not good at free throws.
No, that's conference only. Like I said, they say over half the year. It's 9 games, so it's large enough sample size.
All right, real quick, Alec Crusoe asking about UNLV at Nevada, the rematch of this in-state rivalry. Nevada ran them out in the first one with a completely just insane shooting performance. Yep. I kind of lean towards UNLV here, but I can't do anything until I know if Bryce Hamilton's playing. If he's in, I like them plus 5.5, but if he's out, they might get rolled again.
I agree. Hamilton has to be in to take UNLV, which I would definitely lean towards at that number if he was playing, Jim. I totally echo you.
I would make that a third if he's in.
All right, so keep an eye out for that one. Let's hit back to the outline, Ky, and I will start gathering chat questions for later.
All right, we will continue on with North Carolina at Clemson. UNC Tar Heels -3, I believe, was the last spread I saw. Boy, guys, what is wrong with Clemson? Worst defense I've seen them play all season against Duke in that last game. They're 60th in KenPom after peaking at 18 earlier in the year. Meanwhile, the Tar Heels quietly doing pretty well lately. 1-6 of 7, 6-3 now in the ACC. Matt, Clemson isn't big. Duke killed them inside. That's bad news against UNC, right?
Yeah, I'm just kind of buying this UNC slight upward momentum right now. I've been on them the last couple of games. I'm going to probably take them here tonight just as a gut play. They've been off for a whole week. I think rest at this point in the season, the schedule is huge. So many teams dealing with, kind of jam-packed schedules. I think that time off to practice, to prepare us, especially for a team like UNC that has some key injuries, Anthony Harris getting healthy. I'm going to take it small at the current number. I think 3.5 is where I'm seeing it painted right now. Jim, I wish it was still the 1.5 that Pinnacle opened it at. That would have been a lovely
it'd be
line,
great.
But
Matt, I'm seeing 2.5. If you are interested in making an official show play, I'm just going to
give your takes, and I will have a decision when you're done.
All right, deliberate while you can.
Yes.
Obviously Clemson has been a total mess, but perhaps this is a matchup that favors them a little bit. They were able to knock off Louisville because that team couldn't really space them out with shooting, and then that's not really North Carolina's strength either, although they can just hammer them on the glass. I do think I don't want to just try to be cute and back Clemson when they're losing every game by 30 at this point. Yeah. So I would lean towards Carolina, but not going to take it here. I made this number. I think Carolina only -1.5, so I can't do anything with it. Matt, what have you decided?
It's official. The verdict is in. We will be taking it as official show play. I made it 3.5, so only a point of value, but I'm going to trust my gut here. I think UNC is the right side.
I did have a number in this game, obviously, and I made it too low. I think UNC I have a little bit underrated. I think Clemson I have way too overrated still. I've watched them play last few. They're just not playing good basketball right now. But it is scary, Jim. Like you said, turning UNC into jump shooters is a good strategy, and that's what Clemson's going to do. I just don't think it's going to matter because, as you said as well, they're going to hammer the glass. They're going to grab most of their misses, and I don't see how Clemson scores on the other end. They're one of the worst offensive teams in the league. So definitely lean towards UNC. I think it's sort of even a little bit of a mismatch of a matchup in favor of the Heels. All right, moving on down the line to another Big Ten game. We got Penn State at Wisconsin. Guys, I'll start off with this. By the way, Wisconsin like -8-ish right now. Penn State's pretty good. They've won 3 of 4 all at home, and they hung tough with Ohio State on the road. They are 0-4 on the road in Big Ten play. Jim, you used to not be a Nittany believer. You're also a Wisconsin fan from your youth.
Oh, yeah.
Who do you got in this game?
Well, Ky, I'm riding with the Badgers. I just got to go back to the well here. Honestly, I thought they would win at Penn State. They haven't lost to Penn State in years or before this weekend. Quite a while. I think it's like 16 matchups or something. They've won consecutively. I think they get it done back at the Kohl Center. They struggled to stop Penn State on Saturday, particularly in the pick and roll. I think they make the necessary adjustments back in Madison. There's a chance Penn State's a little, content after they dominated that second half. It's rare that we get this back to back in a power conference. In
Right.
A lot of the smaller conferences, they're doing this, every day or every week. But with 2 days off, time to prepare. The favorite lost the first matchup. I kind of lean towards Wisconsin in this one. Actually, no, I'm taking it. I wish it was still down where it was at 7, but I think they win by double digits, so I will take the -8.5. Let's roll Badge.
I love these in rhythm show picks. Like we kind of get into a groove with our takes and we just convince ourselves on the fly. I think we'll have to continue doing that. Yeah, Jim, Wisconsin 7 of 28 from 3. That ain't happening today. I think Kohl Center, they get hot. Sam Sessoms was back last game for Penn State. We talked about that as a key personnel swing factor for the Nittanies. He's one of their only creators. So that's a big buoy for the Nittanies here. But I think I lean with Jim. No official show play for me. I think the line's just a little too high.
It's possible Penn State has gotten a little overvalued. They have been very, very good, but like I said earlier, their road play has been slightly worse than their home play. I think the spot is great for the Badgers to basically get right and smash them after that 10-point loss. So yeah. I do lean towards Jim's Wisconsin take there. All right, moving on. Last game before we hit the rundown. The best bets, and then our chat mob questions to finish up the show. Michigan State at Iowa. Once upon a time, this probably would have been a marquee matchup, but this year, not so much, because Michigan State is in deep trouble in the Big Ten. They're 2-6 in the league, 62nd in KenPom, and now they have Iowa coming off an Illinois loss. That spells yikes for me. Full disclosure, there's some disagreement amongst the weave on this game as well. Matt, let's start with you. Why are you backing the Green Boys?
I don't love it. Again, another one where I'm going to go small. Michigan State team has a lot to solve right now. There's just, you can't really find any sort of reason to be optimistic in this particular matchup. I just think it's a better situation. It's a better X and O advantage for Sparty, right? Iowa's not a team that they're not going to defend Michigan State with the same level of intensity that we've seen Ohio State and Rutgers, some of these other more athletic, more defensive-minded Big Ten teams have. I think Michigan State can score and hang with Iowa's offense. I just don't. I'm just a little worried that Iowa can get hot. But I think the question of C.J. Frederick, Jim, is the key domino here. Even if he plays, I'm sort of banking on a not super effective version of him.
I won't touch this game if Frederick plays. I think Iowa's offense is a different kind of inferno. If he's playing, I lean towards Michigan State. If he's out, it does feel cute. I'm like, oh, I got to figure out the game where Michigan State finally plays well. And maybe they just won't. Maybe they're just terrible. Rocket Watts sure is bad. So maybe the whole team. They haven't figured out the point guard spot. They should get slaughtered inside. Their bigs have been soft and foul prone. So yeah, the match. This just scares me. It's crazy to me to see Michigan State a 10-point underdog to Iowa. That's
right. Exactly.
Program wise, It's wild. But unless C.J. Frederick is out, I am staying far away from this game. And even if he does play, it's going to be small Michigan State dabble for me.
Yeah, I agree. It's wild, but I didn't expect Michigan State to lose by 30 to Rutgers either. They have the worst offense in the league, so you're not punishing Iowa's suspect defense. So if you can't do that, good luck, man. Iowa's offense is blazing. I think they're going to tear the Spartans apart from deep and inside. Iowa -10 for me is a good bet in my opinion. So I'm not going to take it on a show play because I know you guys lean towards Michigan State, but man, I think Iowa is the better play here. Lots of disagreement. This is our most disagreed upon show of all time. This is weird. All right, let's go to best bets. Jim, start us off with yours.
All right, I am going to the Ohio Valley here, Eastern Illinois at Southern Illinois, Edwardsville. I'm going with the under in this one. This is an early tip. SIUE played last night. Eastern Illinois is completely ravaged by injuries right now. Let me get a current number on this one. It's down to 135.5. That's fine. I'll still take it at 135.5. I just don't really see how either of these teams score. EIU has had some ugly totals recently with their limited shorthanded lineup. They might get a guy or two back today, but when you couple that with SIUE's schedule, playing just an insane gauntlet back-to-back here after just playing yesterday, play again, I love the under here.
Yeah, I agree, Jim. It's a great bet. Matt, what's yours?
Just love the total. That we're going back to totals. I haven't played a total on my slate in forever, so shouts to that, Jim. I'm going with the Dukes of Duquesne up in Pittsburgh. Fun note here, they're actually returning to their official home arena tonight, so I think there's a little bit of value there. They're catching a Dayton team that, coming off the St. Louis win, which was a huge win for that team. Jalen Crutcher went bananas in that game. They also caught fire in the second half against Rhode Island. I think this Dayton team, while improving, is bound to crack tonight against a Dukes team who, by the way, is sneakily trending upward right now. 4-0, I believe, in the last 4 against the number. We were worried about how they might fare without their point guards. They're still missing effectively 2 now with Sincere Carey transferring out and Maceo Austin still yet to return as he's dealing with some personal stuff there. I think they found a new identity, and I think they have value here tonight. Quite simply, I'm going to bet against the early steam that pushed this number up to, I believe, 2 right now. So, yep, Duquesne +2. There it is.
All right. Yeah, there were some people in the mob were talking about how Dayton was a good pick today. But, yeah, Duquesne's been sneaky okay. They haven't played the best competition, but they've covered pretty easily against all those teams. So, certainly a lean there for me as well. My best bet, which I just see has gotten bet up even more, I'll still take it, I suppose, because I have nothing else prepared. Jacksonville State, it was -1 pre-show. It's now -2. A little scarier. It's kind of close to where I made it, but I'll still stick with the Gamecocks. This is a rematch of an earlier OVC matchup. EKU, Eastern Kentucky, won in overtime in that game, but Jacksonville State was up by 5 in the second half. They were up by 4 in overtime. Caveat, Brandon Huffman might be out for Jacksonville State. If he's out, this game becomes a scary bet. He has 16 and 16 in the first matchup. Very important to what the Gamecocks do, crash the boards, kind of own the glass. They also had 18 turnovers in the first matchup. That's also worrisome. But I think these are 2 equally matched teams. I think the revenge spot sets up well for Jacksonville State. I'm also kind of hoping that Trey King is not 100% for Eastern Kentucky. He was out with COVID protocol earlier. Maybe he'll be out one more game to help out the Gamecocks a little bit here. So Jacksonville State -2, I believe, is where the spread is right now.
Yep, 2. Wish I could join you, Ky, but I'm scared with no Huffman, so I'm just gonna stay away.
Yep,
understandable. All right, Jim, take us through round 2 of chat questions. We gotta go quick. Wow, it's already 9:32.
All right, yep. Plenty of people asked about the EKU Jack State game, so I'm glad we got that one covered. Jared Schrader asked about Butler at Marquette, 2 Big East teams that, quite frankly, I can't solve. They play good when I think they're going to be terrible. Butler beats Creighton at home and then gets demolished by other teams, and then they play bad when I'm like, oh, all right, I think this is a good spot for Marquette against a Providence team that they've beaten once, and they just lost to DePaul. So I can't figure these 2 out. I have nothing on this. I made the number what it was. Do either of you have any sort of a take here?
I like the under. I just think it's a movable object meets movable object. You can't score at the rim against Marquette's defense. You got to make shots. So unless Butler starts making mid-range and outside shots at a high clip, I don't see how they score a ton here in this game.
I got no takes in this one.
Another injury to monitor. Justin Lewis missed last game for Marquette. He's actually really, really important as part of that interior wall that Maddie mentioned. So keep an eye on his status as well. Leg Show asking about West Virginia at Iowa State. Again, this is a ravaged Iowa State roster, or at least it has been. Steve Prohm expressing a little bit of optimism that he can get more guys back for this one. They've been absolutely shellacked in their last 2 games without Javon Johnson, without Trey Jackson, without Solomon Young. They did get Coleman Lands back last game. I just think West Virginia probably rolls them with those guys not having practiced much lately, even if they are in. So I would lean towards West Virginia despite a big road favorite number.
Yeah, I lean that way too, Jim.
Westphal, 1.24 points per possession, 1.13 points per possession last 2 games against Texas Tech and Florida. They're going to put up 1.5 against Iowa State today. So I don't see any chance.
1.5.
That's the official prediction.
That's high.
All right. The theme of the show has been disagreements between the weaves. So let's get to the one that you guys are really bashing heads here. Georgia and Auburn. I'm just going to jump in and say that I like the over. It's 160.5. It's been bet up a little bit, but the last game between these two had 85 possessions. Sharif Cooper has changed the tempo of what Auburn is doing. They have a bunch of games over 80 possessions since he got into the lineup. Yeah. Both teams just played a slower opponent their last one out. Georgia played Mississippi, and Auburn played Baylor, kind of slowed them down. I think they're going to be really happy to be able to run with each other. I love the over. Matt, you can start on the side here, and then we'll give Ky his little rebuttal stance.
Yeah, I just want to co-sign the over first. A key reason why I like the over.
Official show play. Yeah.
Official show. Okay. But also Georgia, Severe Wheeler, a dynamo point guard for the Bulldogs. He's really the engine that makes them go. Sharif Cooper does not guard his own shadow. So I think if Bruce Pearl sticks those two on each other, I think Wheeler can live in the lane, find guys, cutters, shooters. He also leads the break as well. I just think 9.5 or 9's a massive number for this matchup. So I would take anything 8.5 or above on the UGA side, Ky.
Sharif Cooper is my favorite player to watch in college basketball. He's incredible. I still don't know why he's sort of like unknown to a lot of people in the country. He's amazing. Like, watch this guy play. Since he's gotten in the lineup, Auburn is ridiculous against the spread. Overs are going over like crazy. I agree, Jim. I like the over as well in this game. They handled Georgia in the first matchup. It wasn't even close. It was a blowout from start to finish. I think it's going to be a double-digit game again. Georgia can't hang with this team. Auburn is legit.
I have no side leans, so I'm just going to let you two battle it out and sit back and hope for points by both teams.
Yeah.
Job Gunderson asking, or maybe Job Gunderson, asks about BYU at San Diego. Obviously, a huge factor here is Yawin Misalski's status for San Diego. He is their massive center in the middle. He has been out since they got out of their COVID shutdown. And against BYU, I mean, that's enormous to have a guy that can plug the paint. So I'm kind of staying away until we know his status. Without him, I made this line 11.5, right about what it is.
Yeah, nothing, Jim. Keep cruising here.
Yep.
I think that's mostly it. J-Man Johnson asked about Tennessee Ole Miss. We did cover that. I think there's a lean towards Tennessee from the group. Matt wants to trust Kermit, but he's wrong. So,
we'll see.
We shall see tomorrow.
Yeah. Questions about the MAC overs, games we already discussed a little bit. I would I just blindly lean towards MAC overs because all those teams want to run. Very few of them play defense. I don't have any strong takes there, though. Coming in late, Ryan Abramowitz asking about South Carolina State at NC Central. I'm going to add NC Central as long as the line hasn't gotten away. It took a while to get going yesterday both teams actually kind of out of a shutdown, hadn't played a D1 game in a while. But yeah, at -17, I'm going to take the Eagles. I think the class really shows itself today. They don't allow another 75-point performance from a bad SC State team. Yeah. So give me Lavelle Moton and the Eagles -17.
All right.
Durham's hometown team, Jim. Might want to add that.
That's right. Yep. All right, guys, we went long. Thanks for joining us once again. Those out there, again, please go to sbrspicks.com/NCAAB for more college basketball content. Like the video before you leave. Like it, and subscribe to the channel SBR Sports Picks. We will see you Wednesday, same time, 9 a.m. Central. Have a good one.